Yeah, we're gonna preach today. We're gonna go to church today. Amen. Sometimes I wonder what I did to deserve you. Girl, I just wanna love you. In my experience, people who claim to be non-confrontational are just not the best people. I do not mean people who do not like arguments. Most people do not like to argue. People who value their time do not like to argue, and they're not about that, right? That's not what I mean. I mean people who use I'm just not a confrontational person as a shield for not confronting issues, especially when they play a major role in said issues. People who use it as armor to literally avoid having direct conversations. Those are the people I'm talking about. Yeah, yeah. And if that's you, you might still feel triggered, and that's okay. You can either scroll or you can sit. Maybe this can be your first exercise of sitting in confrontation because I'm talking to you with love. Or you can take it without love. It's up to you. People who think that they are not being confrontational, let's take away the confrontational word, because to confront means to bring to attention. You can literally Google it. Bring it to attention. Bring someone's behavior to attention that is harmful to you or bothering you for some way, shape, or form. Now, confrontational does have a different context, yes. However, we're thinking about the basis of it, and it just means to be direct, to talk about something, to have a conversation that might be uncomfortable for you. But a lot of people who claim themselves to be non-confrontational, who are actually just avoidant, think that they are sitting in peace and calm when you're really creating more conflict by avoiding the problem. I don't think y'all be knowing that. Or you are so rooted in your own peace, your own delusional peace, because you've created non-peace for others, that once you close the door, right, it's almost like you can't, all the sounds of people saying, hey, this bothered me, this bothered me, this bothered me, becomes muffled, and you're in the peace of your own sanctuary, which is in your mind, and you get to avoid the accountability that you should be taking for your behavior. Let me explain to you why this becomes harmful for the people who are left hanging trying to resolve the issue. And I understand tone matters, approach matters. However, people who tend to say that they're not confrontational, it doesn't matter their tone. Avoidant people, it doesn't matter your tone. As long as you're bringing something to them that highlights something about them, they're going to take it in a way where it's like you're almost attacking them when you're not. You're going to an avoidant and they're refusing to acknowledge how they affected you, the details, and talking about it. That leaves you feeling you're the only one to carry the weight of what has happened, and you're the only one that has to resolve it on your own, and that's not fair because you didn't cause the damage to yourself. And it doesn't have to mean that you are a villain, avoidant. It doesn't mean that you're a villain just because I don't like conflict, but I want to figure this out. Should be your approach. But instead, you run, you ghost, you go quiet, you disappear. And that leaves the person that is trying to resolve the issue to carry the weight by themselves. When you choose to run away, when you choose to avoid the confrontation, you're choosing to literally almost invalidate their experience. And if that's not your intention, why even do it? All it really takes is a willingness to see it from the other person's perspective. And by doing those things, you are showing that you're not even willing to do that. My most basic act of love for me to know that someone's a part of my tribe, is acceptance regardless of whether we disagree or not. If you can accept me even if you don't agree with me, as long as my behavior, my thoughts, my action is not harmful towards me or other people, but you can still accept me and love me regardless, your goal is to understand me, you're one of my people. That is the most basic form for me to say they're on my side. Honestly, unfortunately, a lot of people have shown me otherwise. Once you show me that, I know that you're not on my side. I know that you don't care to understand me. And that's okay, but that doesn't mean that it's not harmful. You cannot build connection without communication. If you are unwilling to communicate, you are unwilling to build an actual relationship. And it does not have to be romantic. We're talking about platonic. We're talking about even business partners. If you are unwilling to communicate, there is no foundation. Because how can I understand you and how can you understand me? There is no sense of trust. There is no sense of safety. Every time they shut down when you try to open up or talk about something or resolve something, that leads you to feel like you are an inconvenience to them. Your thoughts, your feelings are an inconvenience to them. Slowly, the relationship becomes one-sided and you end up feeling everything and they aren't willing to do anything about it. And what I've realized is that A lot of non-confrontational people are simply afraid of vulnerability. They're afraid of the accountability to say, hey, I messed up there and I'm willing to fix it. They're afraid to be wrong because it's going to shatter who they think they are and who they've taught themselves to be, or who the world has told them they are. Confronting something, addressing something requires honesty and self-reflection. You have to be willing to be uncomfortable in order to grow, and that's in everything, even with yourself. Even if you are not confrontational, it is still your job to show up for those who care for you and those who reciprocate the same things for you. The conversations matter, and you're going to have to unlearn that vulnerability means weakness, because it doesn't. Now, I am no therapist, so it is not my job and it is not my intent to try and teach an avoidant how to not be avoidant, because that's not something I can do, and that's not a weight I want to carry. But if you have stayed throughout the entire video and you can say that that has been you, these are just some suggestions that I have learned from my own experiences, not as not being a non-confrontational person, but being on the receiving end of people who consider themselves non-confrontational and how that left me feeling. You can be gentle, you can be soft, you can take your time in responding, you cannot be unavailable, and you cannot take a time that is extensive to the point that the person thinks that you're never coming around. You can't move 1000% on your own time. You can't take weeks to respond to someone, or even days. Take a day or two, or let them know, like, hey, I'm processing. For those on the receiving end of that non-confrontational person, honestly, not gonna hold you, I don't deal with them anymore. I see people who are non-confrontational to the extent where they are unwilling to take vulnerability. Will I still be receptive to you if you reach out and you say, hey, I see where I went wrong and I'm willing to change it? Can I? I don't know. It depends on the damage that's been done, but I would still be receptive to have a conversation about it. I, in my own experience, have had people try to tell me literally what my experience with them was, and I'm literally saying my tears and my prayers said otherwise. You cannot tell me what my experience with you was when I cried, when I prayed for God to take the pain away. You can't tell me that you weren't harmful to me. You can't tell me that that wasn't what I experienced. But what I would say is, if you are the one carrying the weight, decide to put it down, and that's hard. That's hard. In some scenarios, it has taken me months, a year to get over people, to get over an experience, to get over why was I handled that way. I can't make sense of it. Not too many, to be honest, because as a Capricorn, I'm queen cut off, and I tend to cut things off before they even get there. But in short, my loves, learn to surround yourself with people who actually reciprocate what you give. And don't waste too much time projecting potential on anyone. Again, this can be platonic, romantic, family-based, business-based. It doesn't matter. But cut it off, and cut it off when you see it for what it is. And don't try to lie to yourself and gaslight yourself for what it's not. It's not worth it. It's not worth the harm that it can do in the end. This is your girl Nay signing off. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and comment below. I do read the comments. Make sure they are respectful, or they will be deleted. I appreciate you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.